Okay, good morning, everyone. We are streaming live via YouTube. My name is Judge Tamika West Bernard. I'm presiding over the first appearance calendar for Clayton County Magistrate Court today. I will swear in each of the inmates, and then I'll proceed forward with my opening remarks regarding each inmate's statement of rights, and then we will proceed forward with the first appearance hearing for each inmate. So at this time, the inmates are appearing live via Zoom at the Clayton County Jail. If each inmate will raise their right hand so I can swear them in. Raise your right hand. Okay. Do you swear and affirm that the information and testimony that you give to the court today, including the information you provide on your court-appointed counsel form, is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Everyone can put their hands down. Okay, please pay close attention to my opening remarks because it concerns your rights. Again, this is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. We are not here to try your case today or to take a plea. You're here for the court to inform you of the charges against you, advise you of certain rights, set bail on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail, schedule a preliminary hearing on your behalf, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you choose to give up this right, anything you say during these proceedings may be used against you if your case goes to trial. During this and all other court proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You also have the right to indictment by the grand jury for most felonies or accusations for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses who are called to testify against you. You also have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena. You have the right to testify and offer other evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so. But should you choose not to do so, no presumption of your guilt may be raised. You also have the right to have an attorney represent you during these proceedings and all other court proceedings. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending prosecution of your case. This may be paid by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash together with any applicable mandated fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it. If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff, someone will have to pay the company up to 15% of the total bond as their fee for their service. This fee will not be returned. Someone may post a bond using their property if they have net equity in the property in an amount equal to 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to or around certain places. This special condition will be provided on your bond order. You will also be prohibited from calling or having any contact with the alleged victim while you're out on bond. Should you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial. An additional charge of aggravated stalking, influence of witnesses, or other charges as the law may provide could be brought against you, for which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000. For family members who will assist you in posting bond, they will be provided with your information about your bond amount after we have concluded the first appearance calendar for today. If a family member is an alleged victim on the warrant and there's a special condition that you're to have no contact with that family member, he or she will not be allowed to post bond on your behalf. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a superior court judge and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized by law to set bond. Your bond can be reconsidered after your probation officer has an opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for a violation of your probation. This is usually during your preliminary hearing. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there's enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained until such time as your case goes to trial. For those of you charged with misdemeanors only, you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Waiving your preliminary hearing will not affect your right to post bond, your right to have an attorney represent you, or your right to a jury trial. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived if charged with misdemeanors only. and you will be mailed a notice when to appear in state court for arraignment. If you cannot make bond, you may waive your preliminary hearing and be taken before a state court judge, at which time, if you plead guilty, you will be sentenced. If you plead not guilty, a trial will be scheduled on your behalf. If you choose to have a misdemeanor preliminary hearing, your hearing will be scheduled for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. For those of you charged with felony offenses, you will not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. That will conclude my opening remarks. At this time, we will proceed forward with the first appearance hearing for each inmate. Deputies, you would like to proceed forward with the females first, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If the first female inmate will step forward, please state your full name.
Alexander.
And then just deputies, make sure we're doing them in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Okay, please state your full name for me.
Samira Brianna Alexander.
Ms. Alexander, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is battery. Your bond amount is $3,000. The second offense is criminal damage in the second degree. Your bond amount is $3,500. Therefore, your total bond is $6,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
No, hopefully.
Okay.
Do I
If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is you're to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case by the name of Jacarius Copeland. Do you recognize that name? Ms. Alexander, do you recognize that name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media, by telephone. You cannot contact Mr. Copeland through a third party. You cannot go to his home or workplace. Secondly, because the alleged incident occurred at 11227 Chelsea Lane, Hampton, Georgia, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any undisputed personal property there?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thirdly, you cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. Do you understand the special conditions of your release?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st. Sorry, let's see here. May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
And then based on your application for court-appointed counsel, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve your application. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you say your full name for me?
Jennifer Dearberry.
You've been charged with 1 count of obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Your bond amount is $1,500. You understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Ma'am.
You said no?
Yes, I will have to do it with my paper.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the court's calendar.
Okay.
What? Oh, shoot.
And then it looks like you did complete an application for court-appointed counsel. Based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
What is the percentage on the bonds now? I'm not sure how that is.
Well, it's 15% of the total bond amount. So your bond is $1,500.
So that's, yeah.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, state your full name for me.
Walker, Ophelia Adrian Hurt.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, and then your last name is, is it Walker?
That's my first name. My last name is Hurt. All of a sudden today I'm appearing, but my first name is my last name, but my last name is Hurt, H-U-R-T.
Okay, is your middle name Adrian?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Hurt, you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is concealing a death. Your bond amount is $10,000. The second offense is tampering with evidence. Your bond amount is $5,000. The third offense is aggravated assault. Your bond amount is $25,000. Therefore, your total bond for these charges is $40,000. Do you understand the charges as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am. I went yesterday before John Parker and my
Yeah.
last name is Thomas Robinson. It was mix up or something. So I had a first appearance also yesterday.
Was it for, well, no, you didn't have a first appearance. I did first appearance yesterday.
I
And so I didn't see you yesterday. Is it possible you could, let me finish.
Mhm.
Is it possible you could have had a preliminary hearing yesterday before Judge Parker?
I did both. Yes, I
Okay,
did.
well, he couldn't have gave you a first appearance. I'm the only one that's presided over the first appearance calendar yesterday. Okay, do you know if it was separate charges?
I had 2 sets. I had one set and then another set. So he did both. He did a preliminary, a first appearance and a preliminary yesterday, ma'am.
Okay, that's not possible, ma'am. So I'm telling you, this is what your charges are. Listen, at least you've got notice twice. Okay, that's not possible. Again, I presided over the first appearance calendar yesterday. I work in the courthouse, so I think I would know the difference between a first appearance calendar and something else, okay? So those are your charges. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then looks like you did not complete the court appointed counsel form. Do you already have a private attorney representing you in this matter?
Yes, ma'am. Thomas Robinson.
Okay, okay, that will conclude your first appearance hearing for this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
You didn't call him by name?
Okay, please state your full name for me.
Ivana Kellis.
He should have done it. She didn't have it. She didn't.
Okay, Ms. Kellis. You've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, and it appears to be 7 separate counts for obstruction of a law enforcement officer. And that's for each officer that was, I guess, present on the scene that pursued you regarding the incident. So for the criminal trespass charge, your bond amount is $2,000. And then for each each obstruction of a law enforcement charge, and so they have 7 here, your bond amount is $1,000 for each. So therefore, your total bond, let me see here, is $9,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Please keep it on the court's calendar.
And then, did you complete an application for court-appointed counsel?
For an attorney?
Yes. Okay, 1 minute. So based upon your application, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
In charge of shooting off the day. Just do the meals and work.
Okay, Debbie, do we have any more female inmates?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, please state your full name for me.
Adriana Marshall.
I didn't hear the last name.
Marshall.
Marshall. Okay, 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay, and spell your first name for me.
Kecede as in dog, Riana.
Okay, and how do you pronounce that?
He's Adriana.
Okay. Ms. Marshall, you've been charged with 3 offenses. The first offense is battery. Your bond amount is $3,500. And it's actually family violence battery. The second offense is criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $1,500. And then the third charge is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Your bond amount is $2,000. Therefore, your total bond is $7,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay, what don't you understand about the charges?
Criminal trespassing, that was, that's my home, that's my apartment, and it's my lease, like the lease is in my name. So that's the only one I don't understand.
Okay, even though the lease is in your name, it appears from the warrant, let's see here, that you prohibited the accused admitted to walking into the victim's bedroom, refusing to leave the bedroom and striking the victim first, doing verbal statements to law enforcement. So criminal trespass, anytime you prohibit someone from their own, I guess, like you're obstructing them from their legal residence, then that's considered criminal trespass in the state of Georgia. You understand that? So even though you are, you said that you are the primary renter, if that person lives with you, which it appears that the alleged victim lives with you, then you would have to, is she also on the lease?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, you would have to go through formal eviction proceedings to remove her from the premises. You understand that? So that's why you were charged with criminal trespass. Okay, any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the court's calendar, but I do have a bond, though, right?
Yes, I gave you your bond amount. So your bond for the battery is $3,500. Your bond for the criminal trespass is $1,500. Your bond for the cruelty to children is $2,000. Therefore, your total bond is $7,000. If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order as a condition of your release. The first condition is you're to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case by the name of Infinity Humphrey. Do you recognize that name? Okay, who's that?
My friend that stays with me.
Okay, so but unfortunately, because she's the alleged victim in the case, there's a no contact, so you must stay away from her, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media. You cannot contact her via telephone or through a third person, and you can't go to her home or workplace. So as a result of that, because the alleged incident occurred at 915 Lakeview Way, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30238, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
That's what I don't understand, because the lease is in my name. My lease is not up until November, and that's my home. That's where me and my son stays.
Okay, well, unfortunately, as a condition of your release, you will have to make other arrangements. Usually if you show the bond order to your leasing agent, they will release you from your rental obligations. Okay, but you can't return to that location. However, I have included a provision in my order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property from that location. And
Yes, ma'am.
you also can't calls while out on bond. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you complete an application for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based upon your application, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Eddie Jean Moore.
Okay, state your full name for me.
Eddie Jean Moore.
Okay, 1 minute. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your last name. Your last name?
Moore.
I can't hear you.
Moore.
Moore, I'm sorry, Moore, okay. Ms. Moore, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by taking. Your bond amount is $3,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
No, ma'am, I don't understand. I don't understand. That was my car.
Okay. Okay, I can only read you the particulars in the warrant, which is the facts by the arresting officer. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So according to the officer, the arresting officer, it states that Betty Jean Moore commits the offense of theft by taking when she unlawfully took a 2023 Hyundai Kona and unlawfully appropriates any property of another with the intention of depriving the person of the property. The offender advised she needed a ride home from Southern Regional Hospital and took the vehicle. The offender was not the registered owner of the vehicle. The victim advised she did not give any consent to the offender to take the vehicle. The value of the vehicle was $29,000. The offense occurred in Clayton County, Georgia. Those are the particulars regarding the warrant. Again, for the theft by taking charge, your bond amount is $3,500. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date? You understand that's your next court date, Ms. Moore? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You understand that's your next court date? Okay. Looks like you do, were you completing the application for court-appointed counsel, but you didn't answer the question whether or not you have a job. Do you have a job? I can't hear you, Ms. Moore. You say, I need a verbal yes. You don't, for the record, you need to say, so give me a verbal yes or no. Do you have a job? So qualify for. Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Okay. State your full name for me.
Be Delian Preston.
Okay, Ms. Preston, 1 minute. Ms. Preston, you've been charged with 1 count of aggravated assault. Your bond amount is $20,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
I don't understand the charge
Okay,
completely.
no problem. So I'll do as I did before. I can only read the particulars of the facts that's provided by the arresting officer. Specifically, the officer states that the offender did commit the offense of aggravated assault with an object, device, or instrument which, when she used the space heater offensively against the victim, K.C. Redmond Jr., that did result in serious bodily injury to the back of his head. The accused and the victim lived together in the same household. This occurred in Clayton County, Georgia. So it's been alleged that you assaulted Mr. Redmond Jr. With a space heater. Is that clear now? Is the reason for the charge?
Yes, but it doesn't state exactly everything that I was attacked first.
I understand. So, we're not here to try your case today. My only, purpose is to give you give you notice of the charge and provide and see whether or not I can set bond. Do you know if you can make bond, on the $20,000?
Try.
Okay, if you can make bond, but this is considered a family violence, charge because you live together with the alleged victim. Do you, Casey Redmond Jr., is he related to you?
No, we were staying together, but since then he has moved out. He's going back to Mississippi. He is staying with us. He's not at my.
Okay, well, because I have no proof of that, because I'm gonna prohibit you. It appears that according to the warrant that you did reside with Redmond Jr. So I'm prohibiting you from returning to the incident location identified as 5919 Trail Mill Road, Clayton County, Georgia. You're prohibited from returning to that location. Is that your primary residence?
Ma'am.
Okay, if it is, you will need to make other arrangements as a condition of your release. However, I will include a provision in my bond order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed property from that location. In addition, there's a no contact against Casey Redmond Jr., which means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media, by telephone. You cannot contact him through a third person or go to his home or workplace. In addition, you cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am. So I can make bail and still come back for my court date?
Yes.
Okay.
And looks like here, based on your application, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your full name for me.
Tamara Tiermain Stewart.
Just a minute. Ms. Stewart, you've been charged with one count of simple battery, family violence. Your bond amount is $3,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes,
Can you make bond?
ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes,
Okay, if you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. Since this is a family violence charge, I'm prohibiting you, there will be a no contact against the alleged victim in the case, who I believe is your husband by the name of Justin Pointer. That means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, by pager, by telephone, by message, by social media. You cannot contact your husband through a third person or go to his home or workplace. You understand that?
yes.
Secondly, because the incident occurred at 7193 Blackjack Court, Riverdale, Georgia, 30296, you're not to return to those premises while you're out on bond. That's your residence?
Yes, that's my home.
Okay, if it is, then I will include a provision in my order that would allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that location. However, you're as a condition of your release, you cannot return for the purpose of living there. Do you understand that? You only can return to get your undisputed personal items with the sheriff's office. You understand that?
Can never go back home?
Not while this case is pending as a condition of your release.
Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Okay, and then you cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. You understand that? You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that's your next court date?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the calendar.
Okay. And did you complete an application for court-appointed counsel?
Yes.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions?
No, my bond was 3,000,
3,500.
3,500. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 1 minute.
Patsy Whitfield. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor, Patsy Whitfield.
Okay, 1 minute.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Whitfield, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is making terroristic threats. Your bond amount is $5,000. The second offense is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Your bond amount is $20,000. Therefore, your total bond is $25,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
I do, yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Okay, can you make bond?
25,000, could it be any lower than like the 25,000?
No, not in light of your, you have quite a criminal history, Ms. Whitfield.
But Your Honor, can I please say something pretty please? Your Honor,
No, we're not here to try your case today, so I've set bond for you. Let me give you your preliminary hearing date. Your preliminary hearing date is gonna be May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that's your next court date?
yes, ma'am, we understand. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Okay, and did you complete an application for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. So my total bond was how much again? 25,000? Okay, good. That's good.
Okay, based upon your application, you will qualify for court-appointed counsel. Therefore, I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, ma'am, I just had one question. Your Honor, was there a video attached to my bench warrant?
No, the only thing I have is the facts regarding your bench warrant.
Okay, because the officer said she was going to attach the video. I sent a video where I only had a cell phone in my hand. I never had a gun in my hand, and she told me she would attach it to the bench warrant and also do a supplement to the report. Because I sent her video footage that it was a cell phone in my hand, Your Honor. I never had a gun.
Okay, well, you can speak to your attorney about that in terms of your defense of the charge, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am, Your Honor, and I thank you so much for your time, Your Honor. But you have a fantastic day. Thank you for everything.
Okay, you too, thank you. Is that all the females deputies?
No, ma'am, that was the last email.
That's what I mean, that's all the females?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we can move on to the males. Let's do Mr. Kevin Andrew Miles, since he's represented by counsel, so we can get Attorney Johnson out of here. So we can-
Let's go.
1 minute, 1 minute.
All y'all got me.
Okay. So if you can can you step forward so we can make sure we're only talking to you? Okay, there we are. Okay, so your attorney can see you. It's my understanding that you're represented by Attorney Clarence Johnson Jr. Is that correct, sir? Okay, do you see him on the Zoom camera?
No.
Okay, he's here to represent you in your first appearance hearing for today before Clayton County Magistrate Court. My job here is to give you notice of the charge as well as set bond, if I can set bond for you today. Do you understand that? You've been charged with 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Your bond amount is $20,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if you can make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is you're to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case by the name of Emmett Horton. That's spelled E-M-E-T-H. Last name is Horton, H-O-R-T-O-N. That means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by cell phone, by a regular telephone, by social media. You cannot contact the person through a third person or go to their home or workplace. Secondly, because the alleged incident occurred at 6955 Cedar Drive, Riverdale, Georgia, 30274, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
Ma'am, I was just gonna say, he was living with me. He no longer lives at that address anymore. That's my house where I stay. He don't live there no more.
Okay, well, again, sir, because this is because of the nature of the charge, unfortunately, I'm still gonna prohibit you from returning that location. I have no proof that he's no longer there. I want to prevent a further escalation of any issues between you and the alleged victim. If there is your primary residence, I will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that location. You understand that? Also, you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. Do you understand the special conditions of your release, sir? Okay, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date? Okay, and then your Attorney Johnson, did you have any questions?
I don't, Judge, other than the fact that he, as he indicated, that's actually his cousin. His cousin no longer resides there. So I guess we'll have to just, show proof at some point,
Yeah.
perhaps to the court.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand, because of the nature of this aggravated assault charge, we don't
Yes.
have any proof that he no longer resides there. So we do want to prevent an escalation of any issues. So
Okay.
if you have proof that he no longer reside there, you want to ask for reconsideration of the bond conditions, you're more than welcome to do so.
Sure. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. That will conclude your first appearance hearing for this morning, Mr. Miles. And I believe Attorney Johnson, you have no other business before the court today.
I do not. May I please
You're
be
free to go.
excused? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be in touch with you, Calvin, okay?
All right.
They on his way. She want him going this way.
Yeah, you got your folks coming from down upstairs.
Okay, we're ready for the mail, we could go in alphabetical order, deputies, that would be great.
I better water, let's go.
Oh, right now. Hey,
Okay, state your full name for me. Mr. Andrews, you've been charged with one count of battery. Your bond amount is $3,500. It is actually battery family violence. The second charge of criminal trespass family violence, your bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond is $5,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts? Can you make bond?
Yes.
Okay, if you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is you're to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case by the name of Crystal Dempy. Demp is spelled D-E-M-B-Y. That means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media, by telephone. You cannot contact the alleged victim through a third person or go to their home or workplace. Secondly, because the alleged incident occurred at 790-BLA2 Dixon Road, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30238, you're not to return to those premises while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
Yes.
Okay, if it is your primary residence, you will need to make other arrangements while you're out on bond, sir. However, I will include a provision in the order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that residence. You understand that? I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it.
Okay. And then based on your application for court-appointed counsel, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
I have one question.
Okay, thank you.
So I have to
You
wait,
did have a question?
I have to wait 10 days before I can retrieve anything from my home.
No, well, no, it's just saying you got to make the appointment within 10 days.
And I gotta,
You just have to make the appointment within 10 days.
okay.
You don't have to wait 10 days. You just have to make the appointment within 10 days.
I can't go there and get my clothes.
With the sheriff, you got to make an appointment with the sheriff office. You understand that? You can't return there without the sheriff. You understand that? Because there's a no contact.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go. Come on. That's a bottle of water. Come on. All right, come on. Next. Yes, ma'am.
Wayne Douglas Ferris.
Okay, 1 minute.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cornell and Mr. Ramiki, they're gonna need a little bit of assistance, so I'm gonna ask to skip them and do them last.
Okay, you said they're where?
They're here, they just need a little bit of assistance.
Okay, you said Cornell and who else?
Mr. Ramiki, David Victor Ramiki.
Okay, okay, you'll notify me when I get to, I pulled out Cornell, so when I get to the other one, just let me know.
Thank you so much.
Again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, and you say you're Ferris, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Ferris, stand straight up, don't lean against the wall, please. Thank you. You've been charged with 1 count of DUI. Second offense, your bond amount is $4,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
I think so.
Okay. Have you, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yep.
Would you like to waive it or keep it on the court's calendar?
Waive it.
Okay. If you would like to waive it, you will need to obtain a waiver form from the deputy, sign it, and then once you sign it, I then can process your request to waive your preliminary hearing. You understand that? Okay, and then looks like you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve your application for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay, thank you, sir. Don't forget to sign the waiver form from the deputy.
Oh, yeah, sign it. Next. Say your name.
Good morning, my name is Nathaniel Franklin Jr.
Okay, 1 minute, sir. So you've been charged with 1 count of reckless conduct. Your bond amount is $2,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am. I just need to get to a phone to get some arrangements on.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
You say May 30th by Zoom, you say?
Yeah, at 8:30.
Okay, I'll do it. But I just gotta log in with it in Zoom or something, or?
Yes.
Okay.
But if you make bond, it's automatically waived.
What's automatically waived?
Your preliminary hearing, if you make bond.
Okay, I'm making bond, so.
Okay, so we'll leave it on the calendar. If you make bond, it's automatically waived, okay? You understand that, sir?
No, I'm confused, so you confused me.
I'm not trying to confuse you, Mr. Franklin Jr. So the purpose of so maybe this will make sense to you. So the purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there's enough evidence or probable cause to keep you detained in jail, okay? But if you already made bond and you're released, there's no reason for that hearing. Does that make sense now?
All right, gotcha.
Okay, so I'm not trying to confuse you. So if you bond out, it'll automatically be waived because there's no reason, you're already out. You understand that? So I can leave it on the calendar, and if you bond out, it'll automatically be waived, okay? Okay, and then you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your application, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, you will have to hire your own attorney. You understand that? Mr. Franklin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good luck, sir.
Thank you. Next.
Okay, give me your full name,
Jalen Freeman.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been charged with 4 offenses. You have 2 separate counts of crossing a guard line with drugs, gun, or alcohol. The bond amount for each offense is $3,000. I believe because they found 2 separate cutting instruments in your possession, which is commonly referred to as shanks. So for each instrument, you were charged with crossing a guard line, drugs and alcohol,
Go.
and gun, or any other prohibited items. So the bond amount for each one of the 2 charges is $3,000. In addition, you were charged with possession of a deadly weapon by an inmate. There are 2 separate charges, a charge for each instrument that you had. So your bond amount for the possession of the deadly weapon is $5,000 for each. Therefore, your total bond is $6,000. I'm sorry, $16,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that that's your next court date.
Yes, ma'am.
And then based on your, you didn't complete your court-appointed counsel form, but you have some other charges pending. So I'm gonna go ahead and approve your application for a court-appointed attorney. Okay,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
thank you. Okay. State your full name for me, sir. Hall, Hall. Okay. Sir, you've been charged with 4 offenses. You have 2 counts of crossing a guard line with drugs, gun, alcohol, or other prohibited items. And then you have 2 separate charges for possession of a deadly weapon by an inmate. Unfortunately, in light of the fact that you're currently on probation, I'm not authorized to set bond for you today on those charges. Therefore, it's a no bond. Do you understand the charges as well as the no bond?
I got a possession of what?
Possession of a deadly weapon by an inmate, 2 separate for each instrument that was found in your presence, your possession. I'm sorry.
The first one was what?
Is specifically it says that was the offender, who is an inmate at Clayton County Jail, was in possession of 2 short cutting instruments commonly referred to as shanks, which is to be used offensively and endanger the safety or security of any of the facility members, specifically the detention officer. The offender and his co-defendant both were called by law enforcement personnel to be armed with the weapons that were located inside their waistbands.
All right, so
That's the reason for the charges, sir. And do you understand the no bond?
where the drugs came from?
No, it's not said drugs, alcohol, drugs, gun, alcohol, or other prohibitive items. Obviously, you can't have a shank, sir, in jail. You understand that? Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And then your bond hearing will be scheduled for June 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand those 2 different hearing dates, sir? Okay, and then I do understand that you also have some other pending charges here. So I will go ahead and approve your application for court-appointed attorney. You don't already have do you already have a private attorney representing you, sir?
No.
Okay, so I'll approve the court-appointed attorney to represent you, and that will conclude your first appearance hearing for today. Thank you. Okay, You said it's Hardeman? I'm sorry, so you said your last name is Hardeman?
Hardeman, Javante?
Yes. Yes. You've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass damage to property. Your bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond? Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar? I didn't hear you, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Keep it on the calendar, please.
Thank you. And then based on your application here, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Hold on, wait. I got a room for OR and no relief. They told me to come 30 minutes.
Please, sir, give me your full name.
James McClaney.
What was that?
Okay, Mr. McClaney, you would been charged with several offenses. I'll give you the charge and then the bond amount for each one. The first charge is driving under the influence of alcohol. Your bond amount is $5,000. The second offense is improper lane change. Your bond amount is $500. The third offense is open container of alcohol in violation of Georgia law. The bond amount is $500. The fourth charge is simple battery. The bond amount is $3,000. And the fourth charge is obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Your bond amount is $2,000. Therefore, your total bond for all charges is $11,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, I do.
Can you make bond?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
You can keep it on the calendar.
Okay. And let's see here, see if you completed a request for court-appointed counsel. You did. Based on your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Go back to you. Next.
Okay, give me your full name, sir.
Colin McSwain.
Okay, 1 minute. Mr. McSwain, you've been charged with several offenses. I will give you the bond amount. I will give you the charge and then the bond amount for each charge if I can set bond for you. For the first charge is criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $2,000. The second offense is cruelty to children. The bond amount is $2,500. The third charge, battery, based on your criminal history, I'm going to have to upgrade that to a felony since you were previously convicted of a battery family violence on July 8 of 2019 in Henry County State Court. Does that sound familiar to you?
It sounds familiar, but this is not a family member that I got into with this battery.
Okay, well, according to the warrant, it states here that this is a domestic violence situation.
It's between my ex-wife's husband and me. That's not domestic. We do not live in the same household.
Okay, let me read this so let me reread the warrant.
My children just happened to be at the, they saw what happened, and that's why I got the cruelty, because they were watching from inside.
So they have the victim at Mr. Dylan Williams. Who's that?
Dylan Williams is my ex-wife's husband, new husband.
Okay. And it says that you attacked Mr. Dylan.
We were already in a tussle, but yes, that's correct.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see here. So who lives at this? So the alleged incident occurred at 1465 Brownleaf Drive.
Yes, ma'am. And that's
Who lives there?
my son, daughter, and my ex-wife, him and her parents.
Okay, and you traveled there, but you don't live there.
I do not live there.
Okay, where do you live?
I live on 240 Helen Lane in Stockbridge, Georgia,
Okay,
about 10 minutes away.
okay, so I'm trying to figure out why do they have this listed as a, I guess they put DV, I don't know if they meant FV. And I don't see it as an allegation that you you didn't attack your ex-wife, did you?
I did not hit anyone, no, ma'am. I just hit me and him already got the social, and it was just me and him.
Okay,
My father-in-law got involved as well.
okay. They have, for some reason, they have DV, which I guess it means domestic violence on the warrant, which it's unclear to me if they mean family violence or domestic violence, but if you do not currently live at that location, then it wouldn't be considered family violence, in my opinion. So therefore, let's see here. I'll give you a bond on the battery charge. So I'm gonna give you a bond of $3,500 on the battery charge. And then the public drunkenness, the bond amount is $500. The disorderly conduct, the bond amount is $1,500. So let me go through your charges again. So the first offense is criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $2,000. The second offense of cruelty to children, your bond amount is $2,500. The third offense, battery, your bond amount is $3,500. The fourth offense, public drunkenness, your bond amount is $500. And then disorderly conduct, your bond amount is $1,500. So let me see what your total bond is on this. So it looks like your total bond is going to be $10,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you make bond?
I'm going to try.
Okay. I'll schedule your preliminary hearing for May 30th. Let me just make sure there's no other charges here. For May 30th, because these are all misdemeanors. So I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the court's calendar.
Okay. And then let's see here, you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based upon your application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay, sir. Make sure that I've listened to your facts here today. So please refrain from engaging in any similar conduct in the future. You understand that? Okay, thank you. Give me your full name.
Leon Neswati Nagy.
Sir, you've been charged with several offenses. The first offense is laying drags, I believe while you were driving in your vehicle.
Yeah, I was pulling.
Let me finish. It appears to be on May 10th of 2023. Your bond amount is $500. The second offense is obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Your bond amount is $2,500. The third offense is aggravated assault upon a peace officer. Your bond amount is $25,000. The fourth offense is fleeing or attempting to elude police. Your bond amount is $5,000. The fifth offense is driving without insurance. Your bond amount is $1,000. And then the final charge is suspension of your suspension of your registration or insurance. Your bond amount is $500. Therefore, your total bond is $34,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Shit, I could try.
Okay. As is your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date, May 31st?
Yes, ma'am. You said via Zoom?
Yes, via Zoom. You'll get a separate notice, and then based on your court-appointed application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve your application. Do you have any other questions?
Nah, no, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
We come from that. Next. What house is it?
Huh?
Round 4.
Give me your full name, sir.
Mario Pugh.
Okay, Mr. Pugh. I'm sorry, it's spelled P-O-U-G-H. You are charged with 1 count of aggravated assault by strangulation. Your bond amount is $20,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes.
If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition, you're to have a no contact with the alleged victim in the case by the name of Sherry Jackson. Do you recognize that name?
Yes.
Who's that to you?
Girlfriend.
Okay, because she's the alleged victim in the case, you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media, by telephone. You cannot contact Ms. Jackson through a third person or go to her home or workplace. Secondly, because the alleged incident occurred at 7128 Hazelwood Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
Yes.
If that's your primary residence, you will have to make other arrangements as a condition of your release. So you can't stay at that property. However, I will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that residence. You understand that? Lastly, you cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. Do you understand these special conditions of your release, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your application, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Where you from? Oh. Right, 4.
Okay, give me your full name, sir.
Angel Ruby.
Okay, spell it for me.
ANGELRUBI.
Okay. Sir, you've been charged with 2 offenses. So you have the first offense is obstruction of a law enforcement officer. And then the second offense is causing a riot in a penal institution. Because you are currently on active probation for attempting to flee or elude a police officer on August 18 of 2021, you got 2 years probation for that charge. I'm not authorized to set bail for you today on the 2 additional charges. Do you understand the charges as well as the no bond? Okay, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And then your bond hearing will be June 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand those 2 different court dates, sir? You say yes? Okay, and then based on you did not complete the court-appointed counsel form. Do you need an attorney to represent you on these additional charges? You have your own attorney? Okay, so I will put down, you're gonna hire your own attorney. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. State your full name for me.
Janari Smith.
Mr. Smith, you've been charged with several, let's see here, 5 offenses. First offense is speeding in violation of Georgia law. Your bond amount is $500. The second offense is driving without insurance. Let's see, I'm sorry, driving without a license. Let me just make sure here. It's driving without a license. Your bond amount is $1,000. Third offense is violation of Georgia seatbelt law. Your bond amount is $500. Fourth offense is violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Your bond amount is $4,000. Final charge is possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond is $7,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you could, let's see. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that that's your next court date, May 31st?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then you also refused to complete the court-appointed counsel form. Do you plan on hiring your own attorney, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You already did?
Ma'am.
Okay, do you have a name?
I know, I said, yes, ma'am, I did. I did refuse it.
Okay. Do you plan to hire your own attorney, or would you like me to see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney now?
Is it okay if I qualify when it's time?
Well, I think it's best to see if you qualify, so it'll be attorney in place. If you hire your own attorney, that's fine. The court-appointed attorney would just withdraw from the case once you hire your own attorney.
Okay, I'll just hire my own.
Okay, you want to just hire your own?
Yeah.
Okay, well, do you want me to see if you qualify though today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, state your full name for me.
Tyron Tucker.
Mr. Tucker, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence. Your bond amount is $3,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond? You say yes? Okay. If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is you're to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case by the name of Deborah Tucker. That means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media, by telephone. You cannot contact Ms. Tucker through a third person or go to her home or workplace. Secondly, because the alleged incident occurred at 1625 Connolly Road, B11A61, Connolly, Georgia, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
Yes, ma'am.
If it's your primary resident, I will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any personal undisputed property at that location. You understand that? You also cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing? Okay. And then based on your court-appointed application, you indicated you was employed, but you didn't provide me with a monthly estimate of your wages. Can you give me an estimate now?
I probably don't have a job, so I don't know.
Okay, so I'll change that to a no. Therefore, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. My grandmother, she's one of my guardians since I stay in Georgia. So since I can't talk to her and she's not pressing charges, how do I go about this situation?
Well, she's your grandmother is the alleged victim in the case. So unfortunately, because this is considered family violence, you cannot contact her. So what's your question?
No, I was trying to see because she had made a call up here to see when I was going to be able to get out. So I was saying, like,
no, she's not going to be able to bond you out, sir, because she's the alleged victim in the case. So you're going to have to find someone else. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
I'm not gonna get my phone call. No. Shut down. First elevator on the left. Go there, so we can make a phone call. First elevator.
Okay, give me your full name, sir.
After the Leroy way.
Okay, 1 minute, Mr. Way. Mr. Way, you've been charged with driving without insurance. Your bond amount is $1,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Not right now, cause I don't have nobody to go, you know what I'm saying, pick up my money. 'Cause I
Okay.
wasn't paid today, so.
Okay. Okay, well, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 PM via Zoom. So that will be the your next court date. The purpose of that hearing will be determined if it's enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained. You understand that?
But if I get somebody to bond me out, I can bond out though, right?
Yeah, so if you bond out, that'll automatically be waived, but I recommend we leave it on the calendar for now, okay?
You can
Okay. Okay, no problem. And then based on your court-appointed counsel form, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, give me your full name, sir.
Bertram Wheaton.
Okay, 1 minute. Sir, you've been charged with 4 offenses. I will give you the offense and the bond amount for each. The first offense is violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Your bond amount is $5,000. The second offense is possession of a weapon during a crime. Your bond amount is $5,000. Third offense is violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession, control, manufacture, distribution, dispensing and selling. The bond amount is $6,000. The last offense is being in possession of drug-related items. Your bond amount is $500. Therefore, your total bond I have here is, looks like, let's see, $11,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your, no, it's 10,000 plus 16, about 16,500. That's your total bond. So it's 5,000. You got 5,000 for the violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. The weapons charge is 5,000. And then your second count under the violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act is 6,000. So that's 11, the 10 plus the 6 will be 16,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 31st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Say it again, you said May 30th.
May 31st is your next court date for the preliminary hearing. And then you indicated that you do have a job on your court-appointed counsel form, but you didn't provide me with an estimate of your wage, your monthly wages. Can you give me an estimate?
I recently just got hired, so when I
Okay.
I might still be able to.
Okay. I'll go ahead and approve your application just so you can have an attorney in place just in case, okay? Do you have any questions?
I can go through a bonding company, correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, give me your full name, sir. I didn't hear you.
Richard Carnell.
Said Ricky
Yeah.
Carnell. First name is Richard.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Carnell, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. Your bond amount is $2,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
No.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes.
And then you did not complete the application for court-appointed counsel. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions to see if you qualify, sir?
I guess.
Okay. Do you have a job?
No,
Okay. Therefore, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve an application, appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
no.
Okay, thank you. Good luck, Mr. Cornell.
Next. What's next? What, tell us your name.
Okay, you give me your full name, sir?
Victor Remy.
Spell it for me.
DAVID. VICTOR.
Last name is spelled I got REMIKIE.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct. Your bond amount is 1,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
I didn't hear what you said.
You've been charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct. Your bond amount is 1,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
I guess so.
Okay, I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for May 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that's your next court date, sir? May 30th. Okay. And then you didn't complete the application for court-appointed counsel. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions to see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, sir? Okay, can you tell me if you have a job?
No.
Okay, then you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney, sir, so I will approve an attorney to represent you. That will conclude your first appearance hearing for today. Thank you.
First one. First
You good, sir? So I believe, do we just had a 1 waiver, deputy?
Yes, ma'am, Mr. Wayne.
Yeah, I think so, Mr. Wayne. So if you could get that sent to me, shortly, I will appreciate it.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.